Hello, hello, and welcome to this examination of a 1983 album in 37 years, hard to believe, called Come All by Metallica, their debut album, Los Angeles, California. Here we got Ice House, introduced 10 years later in 1993 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Metallica, big beer drinkers, don't think they drank Miller High Life. Don't know. I've seen a lot of photos with them drinking Heineken or something. All right. Anyway, irrelevant. When this album first came out, I was 15 years old and my friend was 14, and we listened to a lot of records. And he would buy a lot of records. I mean, I bought a lot. He bought way more. But he says we would read these magazines like Circus Magazine, Hit Parader, mainly Circus and Hit Parader. And I said, we both said, well, what is Metallica? Because we knew they had these independent labels and they would advertise the albums in the magazine. I probably have some of the magazines with that in there. And we saw Metallica, Megaforce Records. So we were always looking for something different because we weren't pleased with what was coming out mainly from the main rock groups. I mean, heavy metal groups, because they weren't too heavy, all right, in 1983. So it was we had a general feeling of disappointment. Like Ozzy Osbourne after 1982 seemed like he was going downhill. Well, you see, Bark at the Moon didn't come out till very late 83, like maybe the last few days of 83. I know it was December. I bought it like the day it came out at Hammond Square Mall at Sound Shop. And I played that record. The first time I played it, I say, uh-oh. Uh-oh. So it was a lot of bad feeling, in 83. A lot of bad things coming out relative to that scene, heavy metal. I thought Judas Priest was going downhill, in my opinion. I wasn't just really thrilled with the screaming for vengeance type stuff. Iron Maiden. I don't want to even get started with that. All right. Anyway, because some people they'll flip out, get angry, But to me, it was like a bad scene. Black Sabbath was obviously in a total nothing. So we were saying, who is going to save us, from this? And I had friends running around saying, there's great heavy metal. Look at Def Leppard. I said, I'm going to kill myself. I really am. When they would tell me stuff like that, I would say, please don't address me with that. That was the state of where we were. I said, this is bad. Now we looked around, Saxon. I said, no, that's just not what I'm looking for. It's not it. Except I listened to it. So this ain't it. No. I don't want to listen to that. Manowar. I mean, yeah, they were on Nickelodeon or something with the kids saying, why do you wear skins? Oh, well, man, it looks pretty cool, doesn't it? And I just thought, I'm not into this scene, Even Motorhead was kind of blowing apart because Fast Eddie Clark had left the band, and he said, I'm tired of this like pop music direction. And I bought the album, the 83 album with Dancing on Your Grave. I like that song. Good riff and all, but the rest of the album, you could just see. So that was a bad time. And then, so we were thinking, what's going to rescue us? We saw the ads from Metallica, Kill 'Em All, but we felt like we had gotten burned so many times on other bands. We had ordered their stuff and it didn't really pan out. And I said, nah, I'll just go listen to Volume 4 or Made in Japan or Caress of Steel or something. I'll just live in the past. There's no future. I'll just live in the past. There's no future. So I remember the next year in high school, 84, Ride the Lightning had come out, you know, and then it got major distribution with, who was that? Warner Brothers, I think. And so kid was listening to it at the breezeway at school, and he's like, listen to this. Well, I knew the band. I said, Metallica, I know who that is. You know, I mean, I didn't know their music, but I said, I know who that is. So I listened to it. I said, I said, yeah, okay. So I told my friend Thomas, he listens. He says, oh yeah, this is it. This is it. This is what we've been waiting for, you know. And we didn't order Kill 'Em All. So we ran basically to the record store, Music Center, and we bought Ride the Lightning, both of us. He bought cassette for some reason. I bought the LP. We played it like constantly. And he was running around his house screaming, hollering, you know, it's all dead. It's all dead. Black Sabbath's dead. Judas Priest is dead. And he just kept naming the bands. They're all dead, dead, dead. This band is the future. This band is the future. I don't care about none of those other bands. You know, he just was going crazy, you know. And so, so it's not that extreme, but it is what we were waiting for. They came to rescue us, you know. So, well, then we went, and then by this time, Kill 'Em All was available in the stores, and I bought it. And here's the record cover. This is a CD, but now when I had the record, I must have had an early printing because mine said "bang" at the top, "bang the head that doesn't bang." You know, it was an LP. This is a CD, obviously, and it's got a little information booklet in it, and it's got the back cover. Now, when I listened to Kill 'Em All, I liked it, but I thought it was sort of like a demo. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was good. It showed great potential. You could see that it was rudimentary. You know, the lyrics, everything, even the music was sort of rudimentary. But by the next year with Ride the Lightning, they had perfected it. And now they were just going out there full force. And I thought, this is it. And then 2 years later, in 86, when Master of Puppets hit the market, we, of course, immediately bought it. And then I said, oh, it's really developing. And they opened for Ozzy Osbourne in 86, in the 86 tour. We went to my friend Michael and myself went to see it. Went to the UNO Lakefront Arena. I mean, it was only like, I got the ticket stub there. It was like $8.95. No, it wouldn't have been a price like that. Like $8.50. It was always a price like $8 or $8.50, $9.50. So back then, you know, concerts were at the high end like $13. At the low end, like I said, $8.50. I have the ticket stub somewhere. I'm not going to look for it because it doesn't matter. You know, it was a really low price. I don't go to concerts anymore. By the 90s, I started getting bored with them, and I couldn't wait for them to end. I used to say, oh, please don't do an encore. No, I mean, that's a good sign you need to stop going, right? And then the prices became so high. I was like, I ain't paying all this money to go watch these people play music. And half the time, it's no good. So I just stopped. Plus, it hurts my ears. It's too loud. I stopped going. But the 86 Metallica show was very serious. They only played for 1 hour, and they were different then. They didn't get up there with all that loud talking and that kind of strutting sort of arrogance. They were serious because they hadn't really made it yet. This was their third album. Most people didn't know them. Kids at high school, because that was the year I was still in high school and I went to the concert, and they wouldn't listen to Metallica. They wanted to listen to Prince. Of course, by that time, Prince was going downhill too in popularity. He made the new album, you know, where he had those. What's the one with the bell-bottom pants dancing around? And all the kids were like, that ain't no good. I said, golly, finally he did something I thought was work. I liked it. Now you don't like it. But I always said about Prince, he was too soul for the white people and he was too rock for the black people. You know what I'm saying? It's like he kind of went down the middle. He had some hits, of course. He sold a lot of albums, of course, but he was kind of stuck in the middle in that sense. But back to Metallica. No one in high school is listening to them, even with Master of Puppets. So they were just a opening band for Ozzy Osbourne. Well, of course, everybody knew Ozzy Osbourne, and the concert was packed. Lakefront Arena holds about 10,000 people. It was full, you know. Um, but he was still putting out bad albums, you know. I like every album he would put out was like bad, you know, to me. Bark at the Moon, The Ultimate Sin, No Rest for Me. I would call it No Rest for Me. I was like, I can't buy these albums anymore. They're not any good. I don't like them. The music's terrible. He changed his pitch. Like after Diary of the Madman, if you notice, he changed his pitch, like the way he would sing. I don't know. Probably some music guy told him that, Ozzy, what you gonna do is change your pitch, and you'll become a much bigger singer in the music world. And he probably said, well, whatever you say, I'll do it. And he did it. And of course, he became much bigger and so popular. And I just didn't want so. All right. But Metallica, they opened up for him. And it was like they had this big sheet, you know, behind the stage that they had it almost looked like something they had hand painted with the album cover for Master of Puppets. And they didn't say anything. They basically just came out on stage and said, hey, everybody, thank you for watching our show. They played straight for 1 hour. Serious. They were serious, you know. And I said, this is the best. I told my friend Michael, I said, this is the best concert I've ever been to. And people still ask me, what's the best concert you ever went to? Well, that's one of them. I've been to others that were very good, like never boring, just like really on fire. And but that probably was the best. And then Ozzy Osbourne came on, and I was like, oh, all right. I mean, we tolerated it. I was glad it was over, though. When it was over at 10:30, I was like, "Ooh, thank you. Let's get out of here." You know what I'm saying? When I went to see him in '84, it was good still. I wasn't too thrilled with Jakey Lee or any of that. But I remember all the kids in high school saying, Motley Crue's going to blow Ozzy away. Motley Crue's going to blow Ozzy away. I said, you're crazy. But I said, oh, well, we'll see about that. I remember when Ozzy came on in '84, the Motley Crue people were sitting on the side of the stage with their legs hanging over, whatever they were sitting on, watching him play out of their costumes, and they were just wearing their street clothes, and they were like, yeah, yeah. And I was like, yeah, they blew him away, sure. But after watching Metallica, the Ozzy thing was just like some kind of shambles. I couldn't take it. I mean, I took it. I listened to it, but I didn't really enjoy it too much. It was just like the same old thing, like going to a pep rally. Oh, well, enough of that. Hey, Ron, I didn't know about this working from home thing. Oh, I don't know about this working from home thing. I was just listening to a song I thought to post in Rock and Roll Club. Sound like a good idea. Some people post songs in Rock and Roll Club that aren't rock and roll. William Kepley was getting frustrated about it. He started his own rock group called Rock Till You Bach, which is beer and alcohol themes associated with rock and roll. But you know, in Rock and Roll Club, I got these people posting calypso music from 1958. I was like, okay, it's the first time I heard that song, this non-rock and roll song. Of course, they're going to get offended. You're judgmental. You want everybody's music. I said, you know, my attitude is going to be, I'm not going to delete your song, you know, but it's not rock and roll. I'm going to post Prokofiev, classical music. And people will say, well, that ain't rock. I'm going to be like, well, just following people's lead. People think country music is rock. They think Wayne Newton and I don't know, all these big band pop ABC TV music is rock and roll. I don't know. They don't grasp the concept somehow. Stay safe, Ron. I heard Louisiana ain't doing well right now. Louisiana's doing pretty well. But, of course, the media is giving a different story. But what do you expect? So, Kill 'Em All. I think if you hear some of the highlights, you'll agree. Maybe you'll terribly disagree. Doesn't really matter. It's sort of rudimentary in a way, or if you want to say amateurish, but it showed great potential, and I'm glad I have it. All right. Just posted. I'll add it to Rock Until You Bach as well. Okay, I'm going to check it out later on after I'm finished with this. Try not to go on too long with this. All right. So I actually listened to this album after I listened to Ride the Lightning, because Ride the Lightning gave me the confidence to buy this one and knew it wasn't going to be garbage like a lot of the stuff I had been buying in 1983. So you kind of get the idea there. I mean, their music was fast and it was a lot of noise, but it wasn't just a lot of noise. You know what I mean? Mostly when I listen to these heavy metal groups, I say that's just a bunch of noise. But this wasn't just a bunch of noise. It was a bunch of noise. It wasn't just, it was control. It was speed and it was power, but it was control, speed, and power. And I said, maybe this is, I was thinking this in 1984. I said, maybe this is rudimentary in some ways, but it's got potential and I like it. But I always did consider sort of like a demo album, which I guess it was in a way. All right. So the Four Horsemen, you know. Well, of course, most high school friends of mine wouldn't dare listen to this kind of music. No way, no way. So it was me and Michael and a few other, just a handful of people, and everybody else would just say, you know, I like good. You know, they didn't like Black Sabbath when I was there because it was too heavy. Okay, so you really you couldn't find much appeal to. I mean, I didn't care if they liked it or not. You understand? What they liked, I said I wouldn't listen to. I just told them, I'm not listening to that. Like some of my friends or associates more than friends said, but I knew it my whole life, say, oh, I went to see Flock of Seagulls. And he even got his hair cut where it was like that, flipped up with hairspray. And I used to look at him with such contempt. I would say, I'll just cut my wrist. And so, they were like, hey, man, we're listening to New Wave, man. I was like, New Wave, huh? I say, you want to listen to Gary Newman Warriors? You want to listen to Public Enemy Limited? Public Enemy, yeah. Okay. You know what I'm saying? You want to listen to Generation X? You want to listen to Dirk Wears White Socks? No, they're not going to listen to that. Nah. They're going to listen to, oh no, it's Devo. Not the real Devo. So I said, even this is making me want to bomb it, So like these friends I had that would run around talking about, I want to listen to New Wave because it got a lot of introspective problems. I was like, yeah, you got a lot of problems, but it's mostly musically based in your lack of taste thereof. And then don't even mention when that movie came out, of which I hate to even refer to, because that brought in a whole new wave of misery in my life when I had to listen to that with the Brat Pack and all the cute quotables. I had to sit and listen to all of this. And then the theme song, don't you forget about me. I said, I want to forget about this whole 80s experience, to tell you the truth, of what I'm being subjected to. Okay, so this is the kind of thing I had to deal with. So to me, what was good, they couldn't deal with. I was like, you want to listen to New Wave? Let's play some Oingo Boingo records. Up there, everybody gets up and leaves. They want to listen to Rock Lobster. And don't come judge me with that, because I've got the B-52s from 1979. I've got Wild Planet from 1982. I've got Whammy from 1983. But the whole thing is this perspective problem that I was having to deal with. And I'm not trying to claim some kind of great musical knowledge because I didn't have any. I don't have any. I didn't. But I'm just saying, just what I was forced to deal with. Anyway, motor breath. I just think this album has a general theme. The music has a theme. And what I mean by that, it sounds very similar one song to the other. And now I don't mean that necessarily in a bad way. The production is not great. And I thought when it first came out, that's probably part of why it sounded sort of rudimentary. It's because the production is rudimentary in a way. It's not the cleanest sounding thing. And I mean, Megaforce Records, it's not like they were sitting there with major money, could do a great job with things. You know what I'm saying? It's going to sound kind of independent label. I mean, you think of a recent album around that time that had fantastic production, top of the line. Think of like Mirage by Fleetwood Mac when their big singles came out. Gypsy and Hold Me and all of that. You're talking about super clean production, the best sound, the best tone. Well, what do you expect? I mean, that's the top money, right? So Thriller is another example of that, you know, but this, what I keep emphasizing, it had great potential in it, and it turned out to be the case. Although I listened to it backwards. Remember, I listened to Ride the Lightning first, then this second. So that was why I thought of it like as a bit of a step back. But if I had ordered this from Megaforce Records in '83, I could have seen the progression better, but I wasn't willing to take the chance. Of course, the best song on the album is the great bass solo.
Bass solo, take one.
This song, or this performance, reminded me in some ways of the Tony Iommi extended guitar solo. That was a guitar, not a, it was a lead guitar, not a bass guitar. But it reminded me in some ways of his, I considered it a major solo from the 1982 live album. And, that's another one you couldn't get anybody in high school to listen to, except for the select few, Metallica did not start this. They just exemplified this because there was Symptom of the Universe. And so there were some precursors to this. But we wanted the heavy metal to be heavy. And we liked the fast pace of it also. Black Sabbath was heavy. They weren't always fast, but we liked the power. But what we mainly listened to, what did not have power, and people ask me about, you were asking me about, except their 1983 album. I didn't find that it had the power. I didn't see that. I never found the German, as they call it, heavy metal, had the power. I listened to a lot of that stuff, and I can't get into that, but if you like it, it's fine with me. So that was really the highlight of the album, Whiplash. What I liked about Metallica was that they did fast music, heavy fast music, like super fast pace. But they had an interesting creative way of doing it. Like they would differentiate it. The songs, like I said, were similar, but they had an interesting twist on each song. It caught your ear, or it caught mine. Here's the final song on the album. It's stout. You would get tired of fast. Trust me. Yeah, I probably would. After every day, you'd probably just be, you'd hate it, you know. Once a year, twice a year, it's 100 out of 100, like founder of CBS. Every day, yeah. Schlitz, but Schlitz, you know, you just wouldn't get tired of it. You could just drink it every day. You never get tired of it. I'm talking about regular Schlitz. Oh, but Schlitz malt liquor, I could get into that too. But then I can't find it here anyway. And then when I do find it, I can't find fresh bottles, like all old expired bottles. What does that tell me? People ain't buying it. Schlitz is great. Yeah, but it's dead in the water, man. People don't buy it. It's here. I can get it at Food for Less. I can get it at Mathern's. I guess Mathern's has it fresh. I know a couple of people that buy all the 12 packs. They drink it, you know. That's all they drink. If I had, is Schlitz the best mass-produced American regular beer? Probably. But I would have said that 24 years ago when I first started drinking beer, if you want to be techno. And that was the old Schlitz, the pre-2007 Schlitz, the one they got rid of in 2011. I always still liked it. It was a little drier. I go for natural ice, yes. Keystone ice, yes. I can definitely never get tired of those. Or Ice House. Got Ice House in the fridge. I don't get tired of Ice House. Okay, so this is Metal Militia. Metal Militia. It's kind of juvenile. I mean, they were young when they made this album. It's all juvenile in a way. Okay, my assessment of this album. I have Rock and Roll Club, which is my Facebook group. Although some of the people that are members don't seem to understand the concept of what rock and roll is. But anyway, no big deal. No big deal. I'll listen to their stuff once. And then if they press me on it, I'll tell them what I think. If I like it, I'm going to put a thumbs up. If they put something and I like it, I'll put a thumbs up. Even if I don't love it, like kind of like it. But sometimes they'll press me. What do you think? I was like, it's pretty good. And then they'll sometimes get angry. That's the greatest song ever. You're stupid. I'm like, you asked me. You posting all this knick-knack music on here, and then you ask me what I think, and you talk about how it changed your life. I mean, I listen to it. That's what Rock and Roll Club's for, to post music and people listen to it. Although, I know how most members are. I know how people are. They're going to post their stuff and say, it's so deep for me. And all of that, the greatest thing from 1972, on and on. And they want you to listen to their fabulous music. And then you listen, it's like, ding, 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 oh, baby. And I'm like, what is this? This is the greatest music of 1972? But they ain't about to listen to your stuff. They're not about to listen to your stuff. I know how it works. I get it. I know the game. They want you to look at their vacation photos, as boring as they are to look at, but they wouldn't dream of looking at a single one of yours. I know how it works. But anyway, you can still join Rock and Roll Club. I post rock music. You know what I mean? I posted Pink Floyd. What did I post last week? Pink Floyd, Rush, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, the Rolling Stones, Alan Parsons Project, rock music for Rock and Roll Club. Makes sense, right? I don't know why you don't have millions of followers. The thing is because it's not a flashy beer people don't care for. Yeah, you're right. I don't chase views. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at the whiskeys I review. That's not going to get you 1 million followers. But I'm not chasing that. And I like what I review, and I like to try them, and it's fun for me. And if people want to ride along with me, they can. Ron, could you possibly send me a link to the Rock and Roll group for Facebook? I couldn't find it. All you got to do is type in Rock and Roll Club. Rock, apostrophe N, Roll Club. Rock and Roll Club. I'm the administrator. You'll get approved. And the other two guys, they'll approve you. Unless they think you're some kind of spammer, But, yeah, Rock and Roll Club. Yeah. It's there. I don't know how to put the link. It's what it's called. Look it up on Google search, Rock and Roll Club Facebook. It's there. Have you ever heard of Kix? Yes, I have some cereal. Look. Have I heard of Kix? This is one of the oldest cereal brands. It's been on the market since what, 1939? Hey, I'm not totally oblivious to the world. Oh, a band. Oh, no, I ain't heard of them. I saw them in Leesburg, Virginia last year. Okay. You found it. Okay, yeah, join on up. I'll add you. If they're doing sometimes those guys are busy and they don't look for hours. I'll add you. I'm going to go on that Facebook in a little while. I wanted to join Alcoholics, but my Facebook profile picture's from when I was younger, so I think that's why I didn't get to add it. Yeah, I get people trying to join, and they look like little kids. or it looks like some fake person, and I don't know who these people are. And everybody's using these aliases, you understand? Like on YouTube, it's Cobra. Okay, not a real name, but you seem very pleasant and friendly. And then on Facebook, it seems like the people are using an alias, and it's like, this isn't real or something. I don't know what, you start to say, I don't know what this person's angle is. So you don't add them. It's not that you don't want to add them, but you get suspicious, like they're from Malaysia or Nigeria, and they're a member of like 600 different groups. And I'm like, okay, I know what kind of person this is going to be. You just know, so you don't add them. So we're going to close this out. I was saying how the Anesthesia Pulling Teeth bass solo sounded to me in some ways like the Tony Iommi guitar solo in the 1982 live album. And you'll see what I mean by that, I think. Great guitar solo. The best ever, really, in some ways. You might disagree, you might think it's horrible, but... I think Metallica probably listened to that album, and they probably listened to that guitar solo. And I think Tony Iommi had influences on them, a great influence on them. I think a lot of bands had a great influence on Metallica. It's very clearly the case. And I wanted to play that because the Anesthesia Pulling Teeth reminded me in a lot of ways of that, although that was a bass solo. So I would give, okay, thanks for watching. I appreciate it, Vikas Saini. I think, oh, he's going to do some more beer reviews. On air, he ain't going to do it. But he'll do the Hangouts, you know, the recorded beer reviews with me. Yeah. I would score Kill 'Em All 3 out of 5 stars. Or as the Germans would show, 3. That's how Germans show it, 3. That's how they caught the spies at the Battle of the Bulge. Because they could speak perfect English without an accent. And they would say, but Americans do this, 3 out of 5. So they would tell these Germans who they thought were spies, hold up 3 fingers, because they knew all who won the World Series, who the president was, what's the capital of Nebraska, and all of that. Dave does them with me, not on his own. And the Germans would always say, 3. Come with us. They got them, because Americans don't usually do that. But 3 out of 5 stars. It's good. I think Kill 'Em All is a good album, and I listen to it not too much, but sometimes it's worth buying. Whereas, of course, Ride the Lightning is probably 4 out of 5. Excellent. It is at least excellent. Master of Puppets is probably 4.5 out of 5. Like most excellent. Close to perfect. I wouldn't say perfect. Close to perfect. The video with David, I don't know, you might be thinking of a different person. I'm talking about my friend David, who's done dozens of videos with me, not one, like some off the wall, but he does them all the time. Okay, there's a lot of people named David, so you might be thinking of somebody different. Injustice for All, 4 out of 5. It dropped a little bit, but you got to imagine when your bass guitarist is killed in a freak bus accident, that just throws everything off. So I gave them a little break on that one, you know. But still, I liked it. They had a lot of problems. There were a lot of problems with Injustice for All in 1988, which were obvious the day I listened to it for the first time, and since then. Still, I'll go with 4 out of 5, but no higher. And we don't even want to talk. We don't even want to get into 1991 right now. I'll start going crazy. You know, I don't feel like going crazy over that. I've been going crazy over enough things lately. So you start talking about 1991 and Metallica, I'm going to flip out on the internet, you know. So let's just avoid that for now. I'll have to address it after I do Injustice for All. I can't avoid it, but we'll save that misery for later. Thanks for watching this album examination. Blue Collar Beer Review Guide. Oh no, I don't have any hangouts with him. There's so many beer reviewers I would like to do hangouts with, but it's just hard to schedule them. People are busy. When they're available, I'm busy. When I'm available, they're busy. You know, the Black Album. I wouldn't go that far, Drayton, but I would never have that in my house. Never. That would never be in my house. It's never been in my house. It ain't going to be in my house. Don't get me started.